Hello student, welcome to my physics class. This is Shumi Roy from Techno India Group Public School, Shiliguri. And today we are going to learn about electroscope and lightning. How lightning occurs and how we can protect ourselves during a lightning. In our previous class, we have learned about a method of charging known as charging by friction, which is also known as charging by rubbing. But rubbing is not the only way to charge an object. We can charge a neutral body by bringing it in contact with a charged body. This type of method of charging, that is charging a neutral body by bringing it in contact with a charged body, is called charging by conduction. There is yet another way of charging an object. Charging object by bringing them near to a charged body is called charging by induction. Now, as we know about the different ways of charging, let us now discuss how to detect and charge on an object. The electric charge on an object can be detected by using an instrument called electroscope. The electroscope is a device for detecting electric charge on an object. By using an electroscope, we can tell whether an object is electrically charged or not. Now we will describe the construction and working of a simple electroscope. An electroscope is used to detect, measure and find the nature of a charge. It consists of two thin strips of aluminium attached to a metal rod, which is suspended inside the glass jar. The mouth of the jar is fitted with a rubber stopper, through which the rod passes. The other end of the rod is attached to a metal disc. Some electroscopes have strips of silver, copper or gold instead of aluminium. When we bring a charged body in contact with a metal disc of an electroscope, the aluminium leaves get charged by conduction. They then diverge, indicating the presence of a charge, and the amount they diverge gives us an idea of the magnitude of the charge on the body we are testing. However, the leaves will diverge whether the body we are testing has a positive charge or a negative charge. To determine the nature of the charge, we have to first charge the electroscope with a known charge. Suppose we have charged it with a positively charged glass rod. Then the leaves will get positively charged and move apart. Then touch the disc of the electroscope with the body you want to test. If the distance between the leaves increases, this means the body which we are testing is also positively charged. And if the distance between the leaves decreases, this means that the body which we are testing is negatively charged. Some materials allow charge to flow through them, or they conduct charge. These are called conductors. The ability of a material to conduct charge depends on the freedom with which negative charges in its atom move. Metals in general are good conductors. Silver and copper are excellent conductors. However, we cannot charge metals easily by rubbing. Our human body can also conduct charge to some extent. That is why we can get an electric shock. When we touch a charged object, negative charges flow between the object and the earth through our body till the object becomes electrically neutral, providing a path for electricity to flow between an object and the earth or ground is called earthing or grounding. In other words, the process of transferring an electric charge from a charged object to the earth is called earthing. Air is a non-conductor of electricity. So normally, air does not conduct electric charge. If, however, the amount of electric charges on two oppositely charged surfaces is very large, then the air between them conduct electricity in the form of a spark. Actually, the electric energy heats the air to such a high temperature that it glows. This glow of air is seen as a spark or flash. Thus, if the amount of opposite charge on two surfaces is very large, the insulation of air between them breaks and it allows electric charge to pass through it. Sparks and lightning are examples of electric discharge. The passage of electric current in air due to movement of electric charges is called electric discharge. During rainy season, many times we see a flash of light in the clouds, which is followed by a loud sound called thunder. The bright flash of light which we see in the clouds is called lightning. Clouds contain tiny crystals of ice and droplets of water which move against each other, which can cause huge amounts of charge to build up in clouds. Normally, nothing happens due to this charge buildup because air does not conduct the charge from the clouds. But when the accumulation of the charge is great enough and the wind brings the clouds close together, the charge can jump from one cloud to another through the air. This electric discharge is called lightning. During this process, a huge amount of energy is released in the form of light and sound. When the wind brings the clouds close to the earth during a thunderstorm, the accumulated charge sometimes jumps from the clouds to the ground through the air. The energy released can set buildings or trees on fire. Lightning conductor is a tall metal rod which is fixed to the building to protect them from the being damaged by lightning. The top of the rod ends in spikes. The lower end of the rod is connected to a metal plate which is buried underground. If lightning happens to strike a building which has a lightning conductor, the charge passes harmlessly through the metal rod into the earth or get earthed. Here are some safety measures to protect ourselves from lightning. We should stay in completely closed place. Moving in an open place is not recommended during lightning. We should avoid standing in open during thunderstorm. If moving in a car, we should remain there until the lightning is over and we should close the windows. With this topic, we complete the chapter. Thank you.